What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. This past Friday, Macklemore put out White Privilege 2. It's a sequel to a record that he did over a decade ago on his debut album. And this record itself has been very talked about among the internet. A lot of people have been writing about it. You've probably seen stuff on Complex, on Fader, on Spin, Pitchfork, all the big, networks and stuff like that. And I wanted to kind of throw in like my opinion on it. I've listened to the record a number of times just trying to grasp everything that's talked about in it. And the one thing that I see people talking about is like, who is the record for? I see a lot of people misinterpreting the record in that sense because the record I don't think it's for like black people in general. I feel like it's more for Macklemore's audience, which if you know his audience, it's predominantly white. And even in the song he kind of talks about like he had the skit where a parent, he's impersonating a parent who's telling him like, you're the only rapper that I let my kids listen to. I don't like the negativity that all the other rappers talk about. And that's exactly the audience that Macklemore is going for. He's going for those people because those are the people that aren't actively aware in like, the whole Black Lives Matter movement and all the things going on in the country. And I think this is Macklemore's way of using his platform to introduce that. Obviously, this is not like it's not the end of it all. This is just like the first step, creating awareness. I don't know what Macklemore plans on doing from here, but he definitely has created awareness. And if it affects just even one person, it was a good record. If it makes one person, do some research, understand this, and support it, then he's doing his job. I think a lot of people misinterpret that fact. Like, he's not trying to be like this advocate for the entire Black Lives Matter movement. He's trying to help spread it in his own way because he has a different fan base than, say, J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar. And I think that's something that's being overshadowed. Obviously, we got to talk about the Iggy Azalea shots. He throws a bunch of shots at Iggy Azalea, and I think those are also being misinterpreted. I seen Talib Kweli go at Iggy like back and forth for hours yesterday, but I think the thing is Iggy just doesn't understand it. Mac, I don't feel, was trying to come at her with like malicious intentions. He was simply trying to step her into the conversation as well. Obviously, the things he was saying are factual, but at the same time, I feel like Iggy is kind of a lost cause when it comes to that. She's not going to jump into this conversation, especially reading some of the tweets she was sending back to Talib Kweli. She was saying, like, she's a pop artist, she's a rap pop artist, however you want to call it, and that's not her lane. Like, she doesn't want to jump into that because that's not something that she is aware of, something that she doesn't really talk about, I guess. And I don't know, I feel like at some point you can't like force people to get into the conversation. I get both sides. Like, Iggy, just wants to make music, she just wants to be left alone, but then hip-hop fans think she's like appropriating the culture and she needs to give something back to the culture, I guess. That's the idea that I get from it. Like, hip-hop is a predominantly black culture, and here Iggy is winning, thriving in this culture, but she's not really giving anything back. And I get that side too. But like I said, there's no right or wrong answer to, the Iggy Azalea lines, nor is there a right or wrong answer to Macklemore's record in general. But I do think it's a really good conversation starter for the people that it's aimed at. There were some lines in particular. I mean, there's a lot of lines in particular, but these two caught my attention the most. He said, "Are you marching for freedom or when it's convenient?" Like, it was a part of the song where Macklemore is having like a conversation in his mind, a conversation to his pen. And the other line that I I thought was like, it really sums up kind of the whole white privilege idea. He said, the one thing the American dream fails to mention is I was many steps ahead to begin with. I really like that line because it, like I said, it sums up what white privilege is all about. And Macklemore being aware of that is a really good thing. And I think he's just using his platform to further the conversation, like I've been saying this whole video. I don't understand like the hate. I know that people think he's kind of corny and his songs are corny, but he's a very deep artist when you really look at it. Obviously, the singles, Downtown and Thrift Shop, those are like fun, cheesy, and in some people's eyes, corny records, but those are the records that worked, and now that Macklemore has such a big platform, he can make a record like White Privilege 2 and hopefully affect his fan base. That's who this song is dedicated to. One more point, actually two more points I wanted to kind of point out. Jamila Woods, she is a singer. She just signed with Closed Sessions, indie label out in Chicago. Congratulations to her. And now she's on this record, and she closes it out. Two of the things she said, your silence is a luxury. Hip-hop is not a luxury. I really think that's a powerful line. It's a deep line that some people should really think about. And then the other line she said was, what we made to set us free, referring to hip-hop. Like, we created hip-hop because we wanted to be free. We wanted the freedom of, doing what we wanted to do, in a sense. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, I was reading on Complex, was that once the record came out, DeRay, who is a very prominent leader in the Black Lives Matter movement on Twitter, like he's activist for it, he tweeted a bunch saying that he had a conversation with Mac. So I wanted to read a couple of the tweets. There's a bunch of them. I'll include a link to the Complex article so you can read all the tweets. But here's something that he was saying that I caught my attention. He said, in our convo, I got the sense that Macklemore is using this song both to process a complex idea and to push folks to think/act differently. And we talked about how the very privileging of whiteness he addresses creates imbalanced exposure for a message many have said before. I left a call with Macklemore with a deeper understanding of his intent and his commitment to actions that reflect his awareness. And Macklemore's song is not above critique. He knows this. It should be critically engaged. All art should be critically engaged. And the last thing that he said that I really wanted to stress to everybody, because I know some people just kind of write Macklemore off, but here's the thing that I liked about his last tweet. He said, at least listen to Macklemore's new song before you at me telling me that I couldn't be more wrong for thinking it's important. It is an important record. And again, I don't think it's for certain people. It's more aimed towards Macklemore fans to get that conversation started. And I really hope that his fan base understands the record and learns from it. Does some research, really gets behind this type of movement and understand that a lot of unfairness is going on in the world right now. And I don't know. I think that's my interpretation of White Privilege 2. Obviously, I can keep going on and on. It's a deep record. But I would love to know your thoughts on White Privilege 2. What do you think about the record? What do you think Macklemore's intentions were? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section below. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter @SermonsDomain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.